is recorded.
I'm recording now. I have just started recording now.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So if suppose my language is having these two symbols, then all these things will have combination of these two symbols as the alphabet, right? So this is how the language is formed. So here, what is machine language? Machine language is something that is going to have sequence of zeros and ones. So the alphabets of machine language is zeros and ones, right? Yes, we have seen how operations on languages we have discussed, right? So using this only, we will be discussing, we discussed regarding the regular languages and regular expression. So here, for example, let us consider I'm having combination of language channels. Let us consider this is one language, right? Let me call this language as A. Okay, and then next language is 1, 2, 3, right? So what is going to be A square here? So what is A square? What are the strings possible in language A square? What is A square? So already we have discussed, right? So what is A square? A square is nothing but A concatenated twice. Okay. If it is going to be A cube, A concatenated thrice. Already we have discussed, right? So here what is A square? A square is nothing but A concatenated twice. So what are the possible strings in this language? So I can have A, B, A, B. I can have A, B, A, B. I can have A, B, B, B. Likewise, it goes on. Is that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So what is yes, let us consider B plus A. What is B plus A? B plus in the sense one or more, right? B concatenated once or more, that is one or more. If it is going to be star, it is going to be zero or more. Positive closure is nothing but there is spring closure as it represents zero or more. Positive closure represents one or more. So what are the possible strings of this language? So I should have at least one string from B. Okay. So what are the strings possible? So if you most of the strings possible, one AB is possible, one, two AB is possible, one, three AB is possible. Will it be possible? Is this string possible? Is this string possible in this language?
No, ma'am.
No, it is not possible because it should end with A. Okay, it should end with A. And similarly, this is also not possible. This is also not possible because I can have only one combination of A. And then again, this is also not possible because I should have at least one string from B. Okay, so this is okay. Then we have seen some operators, right? So union is all that all you are aware of, right? So what is A union B? So here, please make a note. I can represent this as A union B, or like this, or like this. So all these strings represents the same. Okay, A or B can be represented by like this, by bar and then plus operator. Okay. So if suppose I come across this thing, so what is the meaning? I can either have a string from A or a string from B. Okay. I can have that is I can have a string from this set or from this set, right? So what is concatenation? Yes. So if I'm going to proceed with concatenation, so what is the meaning? So first I should have the strings from this language, and then I should have the strings from this language. That I think already we have discussed, right? That only comes under the previous case. What we have seen is a square b, right? So here, yes, that's this one. Clean closure, yes. The main difference between clean closure and positive closure is nothing but in clean closure, epsilon is possible, whereas in positive closure, epsilon is not possible. Okay, epsilon is not possible. Then what we discussed. Grammars we discussed, right? So here, yes, this is a grammar. So here, these are the four tuples for representing a grammar. That is set of non-terminals, set of terminals, set of productions, and the start symbol. Okay, start symbol. So here, using from the start symbol only, we'll be deriving out the strings. Okay, so here there are only one non-term unit. Okay, so here the start symbol is yes. So here from yes, what are the strings that can be generated? That is what we discussed here. Okay, so here in this case, we can either take this one or this one or this one. Okay. So if I want to generate a string other than epsilon, I can take a combination any of these two. Let us consider I take this one. Okay. What I can do, so I can proceed with proceeding with the leftmost derivation or rightmost derivation. So here I can start with this one, right? So here this is going to be first scan. So here this is a terminal symbol. So it cannot be reduced. So here next we are moving on to this one. So yes, this is the non-terminal. So for this non-terminal, I can choose this one or this one or this one. Okay. So let us consider I am choosing this one. So instead of this yes, I'm going to replace it by epsilon. So it is going to be epsilon is empty, right? So it is going to be reduced like this. Okay. This is reduced like this. And now the next is scanned. Yes, it is a terminal symbol. So next is scanned as non-terminal. So this I can reduce this to these two things. Okay, so this is how the strings are generated. So yes, this is one such another phenomena. So here there are four non-terminals, S, A, B, C, right? So here what is mentioned here are okay, so here you can see, so what is mentioned here? S is the start symbol. Okay, S is the start symbol. So S is the start symbol in the sense I can derive the strings only by using that is the start production. Either it can be S derives ABC or S derives BC. I cannot proceed with A derives D3 productions cannot be used, right? Because start symbol is yes, so I can either use this one or this one. Okay, so here in this example, we have chosen this one and then we have correspondingly reduced using the rest of the productions, right? And then we discussed the uh, automata, right? We discussed the automata. Yes, what is automata? So here in the case of automata, we'll be having transitions from one state to the other. So we are trying to design a machine. Okay, we are designing a machine where the machine will be able to keep track of the current state. Okay, it will be knowing these. So in the case of finite automata, it can know only the current state. The previous state is not known and the future state is not known. Only the current state will be known to the finite automata. Correct? We have seen so many examples in that. Yes. Mm. Yes, we have discussed with regard to the automata for language of string ending with A. So how we are going to design that? So here, yes. So here the basic string is A, right? My automata should accept A. So here I should have a start state. So please make a note in the automata will be designating the start state and the final state. And another thing, there will be only one start state in the finite automata, and there can be a set of final state. Only one start state, and there can be a set of final state. All right. So here, from the start state, I should be able to reach the final state by means of the particular string. Okay. So only then the string will be considered as accepted one that belongs to the particular language. Okay. So for a language, we will be defining a finite automata. If that string belongs to that particular language, I will be able to start from the start state, and I will be reaching the final state for that entire uh, string. Okay. Okay, so here we can start with, yes, the first symbol is A. So in Q naught, I'm coming across an input symbol A. So what I should do? I have to move on to another state, right? I'll be moving on to another state, and the next symbol is A. So in Q1 I'm coming across A, so I'll be moving on to another state, that is Q2. So this is going to be the basic one. And next is A. So A. Yes, this is also a barren string, because what is the condition? It should end with A, right? It should end with A. So yes, this string is also ending with A. So this should also be accepted. So what I should do? I am in state Q0. In Q0, I am coming across A, so I'll be reaching Q1. And next day I will be reaching Q2, and again in Q2 I am coming across A. Where I should do? I should be staying in the same start state. That is what we are doing here. And next comes B. So here in Q0 I am coming across B. If it is going to be A, I can move on to Q1. But here in this case I am coming across B. So where should be my transition? I will be in the same state Q0. Okay, I'll be in the same state Q0. So next is going to be please make a note in the case of deterministic finite automata, from each state for each and every input symbol, there should be a transition for a particular state. Okay. So correspondingly, we have to check for each and every condition. So in the initial stage, you will be listing out all the possible strings, right? But by practice, you can design a finite automata by understanding the language itself. The only thing is that from each state, for example, in this language, if there are three input symbols, right? A, B, C, then in that case, I should check from Q naught, if A comes, where should we make transition? If B comes, where should we make transition? If C comes, where should we make transition? So in that case, criteria, we have to design the automata. Okay. So here is yes, the next input symbol, next string is this. Yes, I am in state Q naught coming across A, so I'll be in state Q1. So again, now B comes. So where should we make transition? Okay, so here only if Q A comes, I should be in final state. Here I am coming across in Q1 and coming across B. So where should we make transition? I'll be having the transition to Q0. Okay, I'll be having the transition to Q0, because at the end only I should have two gates. Instead, I should not be able to, I should not be reaching the final state, right? So where should I do? I should move on to Q0. So only after Q0 I am getting to A, right? Yes, similarly in Q2, if B comes back should be made transition, I'll be moving on to Q1, right? Similarly, on next is accepting the language of string ending in B but not containing substring A. So here, okay. Ending in B but not containing substring A. Okay, so here constraints is increased. So what is the basic condition? It should end with B. Okay, so end with B. So this is the basic string. Okay, so here B, so I should be able to reach the final state. So next comes A. Yes, this is also accepted. The thing is that it should end with B. So where should be my transition? So here Why I'm having the transition to Q2 here? Instead Q0 itself, I can have the transition, right? Why I'm not having the transition? Can you please give me the reason behind?
Ma'am, because 1A is allowed.
Because if suppose I'm having the transition here itself, what happens? There will be a possibility of 2A's getting accepted, right? Okay, so I will not have the transition here. Please wait. I'll be back. Okay, ma'am. Okay. Here 2A's should not be accepted, right? So we are having the transition to Q2, right? So after B comes, I will be having the transition to Q1. So yes, again the same thing, A, B, B, yes. Here what happens in A, I am reaching Q2. In Q2, in Q2 I am coming firstly, so I am reaching Q1. In Q1 I am coming firstly. So where will be my transition? I will be in the same state Q1. So because the condition is language ending in B, right? So I can have any number of B's. If suppose A comes, I'll be having the transition. So in state Q1, if suppose A comes, where should be my transition? I'll be moving on to Q2. Okay, I'll be moving on to Q2. Please make a note. If suppose I'm moving on to Q0, what happens? Again, there will be possibility of 2A's, and another thing is that, yes, do you agree with that? Why instead of Q2, if suppose I'm moving on to Q0, what happens?
Then another river comes, it will move to Q2. So
Yes,
Q is
Q2, and then
allowed.
it can be final state. Okay. In Q2, if A comes, I'll be moving on to the trap state.
Trap
Right?
state.
Similarly, the previous case we discussed with regard to not containing substring AA, right? So here we discussed regarding the containing substring, another that is for example ABB. We discussed an example. That's it, and then we can move on to the rest of the things, right? We yes, ma'am. Here, yes. Next, we discuss with regard to converting the regular expression to epsilon NFA by means of McNaughton Emmerdot Thompson algorithm. Please make a note here. You can easily, please make. Just I'm talking in perspective of exam point of view, right? Okay, you can easily score marks here. Where we doesn't need to apply any logic at all. Just rules, apply the rules, and you will get the answer. Okay. So here first we have to construct the parse tree. Yes, here by constructing the parse tree, the priority of precedence, so operator precedence is going to be first comes the brackets, and next comes clean closure and concatenation, and finally the union operator or operator. Okay, so please know these. You should follow these rules while constructing the parse tree. Precedence rule, operator precedence, right? So first brackets, next clean closure, then concatenation, and then the OR operator, right? Okay. Yes. Yes. First, we have to proceed with constructing the parse tree, right? So this should be the sequence. Make not an lambda constant algorithm sense. First, you have to construct the parse tree, and then for each and every regular expression, okay, each and every regular expression, you have to construct the NFA, and then you have to apply these rules. So this is for, so if the regular expression is having only only a particular input symbol, then we'll be constructing an NFA like this. If it is going to be epsilon, we'll be constructing an NFA like this, right? And then if it is going to be concatenation, we'll be having the, that is, this is already we have constructed, consider we are having constructed an NFA for regular expression yes and NFA for regular expression T, right? So if I want to take concatenation of these two regular expression, please make a note. I'm having a regular expression yes and I'm having a regular expression free. Already I have constructed the NFA for regular expression yes, which is nothing but n of f, and I'm having n of t. If I want to take concatenation of these two, then what should I do? I should proceed with the merging the final state of n of s and the start state of n of t. Okay, so accordingly, you have to update the start and the final states. Okay, so here just we are merging the final state of n of s and start state of n of t. And next comes the union operation, that is OR operator. Yes, I am having NFA for S and NFA for T. Now I'm going to take the union. It's just I have to proceed with including the start state, new start state, and new final state. Here, the start state and final state of the existing NFA will become as the intermediate states. Okay, will become as the intermediate states. So here you can see, right? This is NFA for R1 and this is NFA for R2. If I want to take R1 union R2, then it is going to be yes. So this and this final will become the intermediate state. I'll be introducing two new states which will act as the start state and the final state. Yes, please make a note of it. You have to represent here in the case of final formula, the direction of transition plays the vital role, and designating the start state and the final state will have equal priority. Okay, so without giving these details, there will be no meaning for your automata itself. Okay, direction of transitions and what is it? Mention the start state and mention the final state. Yes, you know, right? So how to identify the start state? How to designate the start state? By an image which comes from nowhere. If the start state will have an incoming image which comes from nowhere. So please we have a practice to specify the start as label. Okay, and the final state is represented by double circle, and all the edges should have the input symbol, whether it is epsilon or any input symbol. Okay. Yes, and then next comes the what is that? Uh, clean closure. Clean closure, right? So here in clean closure, yes, this is the NFA, existing NFA. For this NFA, I have to give you, that is for R4, I have to give the clean closure. So how I'm going to give? I am going to introduce a new start state, new final state, right? Yes, similarly, we have introduced a new start state and new final state. Hope I have merged it, right? I have merged this one. So it is missing here. Start state and the final state. And then I have to proceed with introducing the additional transitions. Okay. So this epsilon transition needs to be included and the transition flow of transition. That's what. So the existing final state to existing start state, that should be a epsilon transition. Existing in the sense old start state to old final state, that should be an epsilon transition. And new start state to new final state, that should be an epsilon transition. Likewise, we'll be proceeding with constructing the NFA by means of McNaughton lambda constant and right. And then next we constructed the conversion of NFA to DFA. Okay. So yes, construction of NFA to DFA. Yes, this is an NFA, right? So for that, we are representing it by means of a table. From this table, we are constructing the DFA table, right? Hope you will be clear with that. In the case of DFA, we cannot have two different states for a particular inputs in this. So what I'm going to do? So first, we will be starting with the start state is Q1 for input symbol. So the same table I'm using. Okay, Q1. And next comes instead of Q1 and Q2, I'm going to represent it by a same state Q1, Q2. This I'm going to give a new name, right? Q1 and Q2. So the next state to be marked is not Q2. Okay, because here Q2 is not available. Instead, I'm having a new state as Q1, Q2. So that will be included here. Okay, so what about the transitions for Q1 and Q2? It is going to be dependent upon NFA states of Q1 and NFA states Q2. Okay, so here it is going to take the union of these two. So here we can start for Q1 where I'm having the transition for input symbol A, Q1. For Q2 where I'm having transition for input symbol A, epsilon. So in Q1, A epsilon is nothing but Q1. So with respect to B, uh, uh, for Q1, what are the transitions Q1 and Q2? For Q2, what are the transitions Q3? So Q1, Q2, union Q3. So that is what we're going to do. Okay. So what about the next state? The next state is going to be the null state, which is nothing but Q1, Q2, Q3. They're similar, like previous case, we'll be dealing with the transitions, right? And then how to designate the start state and the final state? Yes, so Q1 is the start state, so this is going to be the start state. And which is the final state in the NFA? Q3 is the final state in the NFA. In these three states, which is having Q3, this is having Q2. So this will be acting as the final state. Using this, we can construct the equivalent DFA, right? And next comes converting epsilon NFA to DFA. Please make a note over here. Here we'll be dealing with epsilon closure and mode function. Okay, just we'll be dealing with only again we are applying an algorithm. That's it. Again, no logic is needed, right? Even in this one, no logic is needed, right? Only in designing we need the logic. If you have practice with, that will be easier for you. Here, yes, an epsilon NFA will be given to you. So for that epsilon NFA, you have to proceed with converting to DFA, right? So here first we have to start with the start state to find the epsilon closure of the start state. Okay, epsilon closure of start state. So what is the epsilon closure of start state here? 0. Okay, so what is epsilon closure of 0? So from 0, what are the states reachable by means of epsilon transition alone, right? So from 0, and another thing, each and every state is reachable except one epsilon transition. Please should uh, 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 sorry. Please you remember it, right? Yes. Epsilon question of 0 is 0. From 0, I can reach 1. From 1, I can reach 2, 4. From 0, I can reach 7, right? That's it, right? Yes. So please, this is a new set, right? Let me name that set as okay. This is the start state of your DFA. We started with epsilon closure of 0, which is the start state for our NFA. On finding the epsilon closure of 0, we got this set. This set is going to be named as A, which is the start state of your DFA. From A, we have to mark that is, I have to from A, what about the transitions for each and every input symbol that I have to check proceed with, right? So for that, I'll be finding out dtran of A, comma, each and every input symbol. Okay. Here I'm having only two input symbols A and B. So what is dtran of A, comma, A is nothing but epsilon closure of mu of A, comma, A. Yes. So mu of A, comma, A. So here what is here? Here is nothing but 0, 1, 2, 4. Here in this case, from 0, I'll be checking whether I'm having transition on input symbol A. No, there is no transition. From 1, is there any transition on input symbol A? No. From 2, is there any transition on input symbol A? Yes, where I am reading 3. So 3 will be included. And 4, is there any transition on input symbol A? No. From 7, is there any transition on input symbol A? Yes. Where I am moving 8. So this is going to be move of A, A. Next, I have to proceed with epsilon closure of 3, A. Yes, same step, same sequence we have to follow, right? Epsilon closure of 3 we have to take, and then I have to proceed with epsilon closure of 8. Okay. Please do track it. You should consider both the things, right? Because you have to proceed with epsilon closure of 3, and then you have to proceed with epsilon closure of 8, this format. Okay. And then please do have a practice to rearrange all the states in a sequential way so that you can check whether it is an existing state or new state. Similarly, you have to proceed for each and every input symbol for each and every new state. Okay. Here in this case, for return of A, A, we got B, and the return of A, B, we got C. So B and C are new states. So for that, I have to proceed with the return of B, A. Return, I have to proceed for B and C. Okay. Okay. So here you can, yes. Yes. So here I got a new state B, right? So what should I do? I have to proceed for return of D, A and return of D, B. Again, I got a new state B. If again I am proceeding, here I am not getting any new state. Okay. So I can stop with this. Right. So here, please make a note. I am repeating the same thing. Already I have told you this. If suppose, if you are getting epsilon here, okay, if you are proceeding with move comma, move of A comma B or anything, right? If you are getting empty for this, right? In that case, you have to introduce. Okay, so here we'll be getting, so please make a note, just example I am saying. Let us consider you are getting a resultant as empty for this. Okay, empty for this. In the case of deterministic manner automaton, each and every state should have a transition to some of the states on a particular input symbol. Okay, so empty is not possible. So what should I do? In the DFA for input symbol B, I'll be having a transition to a trap state. Trap state in the sense other than B, C, D, and E, I'll be including one more state. Let me call it as F. And for input symbol B, I'll be having a transition to trap state F. Okay. Okay, so here using this transition, we'll be constructing the transition table and then we'll be constructing the DFA. Yes, next.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Next.
Ma'am, in this trap state thing, I had a doubt. Suppose in this case, we get more than one DTran which comes out to be null. So we will cause the transition to the same trap state, right?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Why to introduce many trap states? One trap state is enough, right? Okay, so the next is minimization. Yes. How we'll be proceeding with minimization? I'll be segregating the states as final and non-final. Okay, final and non-final. Here in this case, you can see these are the non-final state and this is the final state. What I'll be doing, I'll be comparing within these states, within the set. Okay, comparing the states within the set. Here, A is compared with B, A is compared with C, A is compared with the D. So how we are going to compare for each and every input symbol, we are going to check whether it is in the same group or not. Group is this one. Okay, I'm not going to check whether this belongs to this group. Please make a note. I'm going to check whether these two elements are present in the same group. That's it. Right? Okay, so here you can see SBD, same group, CD, same group. Now I am comparing A and C. Okay, DB, same group, CC, same group, A and B, DB, same group. So C is in this group, E is in this group. So different groups, right? So what is the meaning is, if it is not in the same group, what is the meaning? A and B cannot be in the same set, right? So what I should do, I have to proceed with splitting the states That is pi 1 is going to be split as A, B, C in one group, D in one group, and E in okay. Like that, I have to proceed with the comparing each and every set. So A, B should be compared, A, C should be compared again. I have to repeat the process until I am not getting a new pi. Okay. So here first I started with pi. After comparison, I got pi 1. Next, I am getting pi 2. And then I am proceeding. So if here you can see, right, I am comparing both are in same group. Okay. So pi 2 and pi 3 will be same. So I am not getting new states, a new pi, right? So I can stop with this and then I'm going to group it. So here how I'm going to group it. A and C will be considered as the same state. Wherever A comes, I'm going to replace it by AC, and wherever C comes, I'm going to replace it by AC. That's it. Okay. That's it, right? Yes. Are you clear with this? Any doubts here? Are you clear with the topic discussed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. Others also, please do respond. I can hear only voice from specific people, right? If I hear a voice, I can understand who is speaking. So please do interact. Okay. Okay, ma. If you have any queries, you can ask now.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, could you again confirm the syllabus for the CAT one, ma'am?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Whatever topics we discuss now, right? That is what the
Yes, ma'am.
syllabus.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Ma'am, one more thing. After epsilon NFA to DFA, what's the next topic we actually did, ma'am? Like the order. What's the next one? I remember doing regular expressions to no, DFA to regular expressions. That was previous class. That's it, right? No? Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That is not required at this point of time.
That's not there, ma'am. Like the Arden's theorem.
Arden's theorem not needed. Please make a note. You need not worry of the Arden's theorem, right?
Okay, ma'am.